So what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm joined here with Nathan, aka Vanced. Say hello.
Hello. Hello.
And today we are here to do the top 10 things we do not want in Call of Duty Black Ops 4. And more specifically in these zombies. And I will let you go off with your first choice, Nathan, if you will.
Thank you. Well, my first choice here of something that I do not want to return or just not implemented into Black Ops 4 zombies will be pointless innovation. And what I mean by pointless innovation is just something like Zetsubou No Shima. Everybody knows I personally hate Zetsubou No Shima to death, but Zetsubou No Shima had the power system that was just pointless innovation. It was innovative, but it was pointless. It was a change that was not necessary. I do like the fact that they tried to change something, but it wasn't implemented well, and it was kind of a stupid idea anyway. Just having to get different type of water. Well, you didn't have to get different type of water, but getting water, filling this both sides of the map, and then coming to the center, then opening a bunker, and then going into that bunker, and then having to fucking do all the other things involved in turning on the power. All that was just convoluted and pointless. Was innovative, but it was pointless. Just to turn on the power was kind of stupid. And anything along those lines, I just really hope is not in Black Ops 4 Zombies.
Yeah, I think you made a good point about the Zetsubou being a map where innovation was tried to be made and it probably wasn't needed in some places. Another part of innovation in Zetsubou was like the whole like the web system, I guess. I know it was with the spiders, but again, I didn't really like the way you had to de-web, like the barriers, the perks, the gobblegum and stuff. But at the same time, I sort of guess I did like it because it did fill the map, but it was annoying at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, into my first pick, which is going to be obviously something I don't want, and I don't want for new characters to be introduced. I feel like Black Ops 4 should really be the end of this storyline. We've had World at War, Black Ops 1, 2, and 3. This will be the 5th game that will be in the storyline. I feel like that will be long enough for a storyline to go on. By this point, it'll be like, what, 10, 11, 12 years, something like that. I feel like that's quite a nice amount of time, probably a little bit too long for a storyline to actually go on. And with that retrospect, I believe by the end, by DLC 4 of Black Ops 4, I don't want it to be any more new characters. I want these next maps to really go down into what we've been wanting to hear from Treyarch for like the past 9 years. We need to like know exactly like everything that's going on with the children in the house, with Dr. Monty, you know, with all these other characters we were introduced to, characters that we don't know really much of their backstory apart from, you know, apart from when we found out from the big information on that map that we got. But you know, in all, I just want there to be no more characters, and for Black Ops 4 to be more of a game that will give us a lot more information.
Yeah. You mentioned this game being like the 5th game in the zombies storyline, and this year, World at War, more importantly, Nocturne Totem, will be 10 years old. I remember that. That's mad as well. We may have to do a bunch of videos on Noct on the 10th anniversary of World at War. But yeah, I totally agree. We need to get answers for the characters we have now before we start adding in more characters. We still don't know about Newton. Who is he? What involvement does he have? Don't be adding in these 4 new characters if we haven't got answers for the ones you've barely introduced.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So my next pick for the things that I do not want in Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Zombies, and it's something that relates to your last pick there. I don't want the transit crew. With the comics, the Zombies team reintroduced the what they're just called the transit crew. Do they have like a special name?
Oh, they do have a special name. I can't remember though. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember.
Well, the transit crew, they introduced those guys into the comics, and people are speculating that that story from the comics is going to come into the games, and if that is the case, I don't think I'll be very happy with that. Like Jamie said, the story's not complete. Our characters have not come to an end. We need an ending to the zombie storyline that we have now, and if we go off the beaten path, I don't think that will be necessarily the right decision. Maybe for one map, but that's it. Like something like Shadows of Evil or Mob of the Dead, where it's kind of separate for one map is fine, but just we need to focus on ending this story, just ending everything. And if we get the transit crew again, who weren't that great of a crew, they weren't very interesting. Even though the original crew were a bunch of stereotypes, these were more or less less interesting stereotypes, and I just don't think they were very interesting and had a lot of depth to them. They're kind of like the Infinite Warfare crew. They just didn't have that meat to hook onto for, you know, my interest, and I would not like them back in Black Ops 4 Zombies. Yeah,
no, I agree with that. Just out of curiosity, their crew are called Victus.
Victus, I knew it began with a V for some reason.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I don't think they will return because they've obviously gone with the whole comic idea. So they've put them in the comic. I haven't actually bothered reading like the last 2 issues properly. But basically, like I think with them being in the comic, I hope that they don't return into Black Ops 4 because again, like basically like you say, they're not interesting characters, and I don't want them, you know, being there because I don't think they would make it as interesting as, you know, Rick Dolphin and that crew, which I think are called Ultimus, although it could be another name. Okay, so for my next point for things I don't want in Black Ops 4, I mentioned I want game modes to return. 2 game modes I do not want to return is Grief and Turned, and that's simply because I did research for a video that should be on my channel by now. I did research for a video which looked at a couple of cut game modes from Black Ops 2, and they were Race and Meat were the name of these game modes, both of which sounded pretty cool. They basically were both game modes that you split off in the middle, so you had a team on one side, team on the other. With Race, you have to get zombie kills to collect souls to open up doors, and you have to race to the end to you know, get to the last door or whatever, or to get to the last area. And with Meat, from what people can tell, you have like a bit of meat and you throw it over the barrier, and then whichever side the meat's on, the zombies are attacking that team, while the team on the other side are safe and they would do their own thing. But both of these ideas for some reason were cut from Black Ops 2, and in my opinion they sound a lot more better than play as a zombie and attack the other team, or you know, team versus team and just troll them a little bit. And it's not only that, it's the way they were executed. Turned and Grief, I don't know, they were game modes that were fun for a little bit, but for some reason they just didn't really have a lot of replay value to me. I haven't played them in years, so you know, my mind's a little bit hazy on them, but I don't know, there was just something about it, especially with the turn. I think the zombies could have been a little bit better with the movements and stuff. Like it was very almost comical the way the zombies would just run after you. I think it'd be a bit better if it was a little bit more like a real zombie from like you know, a map, for instance.
Well, this is going to be a shocker because this is like one of the first times we haven't, or at least I haven't agreed with you. I actually think they should bring that back, and also implement those Meat and the other game mode that you mentioned, Race.
Yeah.
I think they should actually implement all 4 of them, because there was the community for Grief and for Turned, and I think we could bring them back and have them be improved.
Yeah,
but
true.
In their current state, if they didn't come back, I don't think I would be super bummed, and we got like the Race and Meat instead of those. I wouldn't be super bummed, but you know, if we were to get more game modes, let's have all 4 if we can. But
Yeah,
I do see where you're coming from.
yeah, no, true. It's my main reason is that the Grief and Turn seemed like they could have been made better, and they just didn't put all their effort into it. And I feel like looking at the other game modes, they could have had better game modes than these two. That's basically my whole reason. I feel like they could probably bring in, if they scrapped Grief and Turned, they could probably make two much better game modes if they put their minds to it. So that's basically my whole reasoning behind that.
But the most important game mode they need to introduce is my personal game mode that I came up with, that you can watch a video about on my channel right now. It's titled Brand New Game Mode in Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Zombies or something along the lines of that. It's on my channel. It has like a red arrow and stuff like that because I need it to be extremely clickbaity. But
new game mode.
that needs to be in there. That needs to be in there. And I need royalty checks. But
yes.
the next thing that I have on my list is mechanics that you need to go on the internet to find out how to do. This comes back to Zetsubou No Shima because this is the only one I can really think of right now. But upgrading the KT4 into the Masamune, me personally, I've been playing zombies since 2008, more like around late 2008, 2009. I've been playing it since then. And I've become a decent enough player. I know what to do when I put my mind to it. Every time I play Zetsubou No Shima, I just cannot upgrade the KT4 without looking up the steps. On Origins, I can't upgrade the staffs without going on the internet, and there's other things like that. I don't necessarily disagree with the whole aspect of going on the internet to find out different secret things that you might have not known about. Maybe people didn't know about the staffs being able to be upgraded in Origins, so they were just one day browsing on the internet and then they find these staffs, and it can be cool to discover something on the internet about the game. But I think they should implement a way to where it is more obvious, and maybe you can get the steps a little bit more easily, or discover the steps easily, or have a way to get a certain quote that will lead the newer players into a certain direction. World War II does something similar, where they have, when you press the touchpad and your scoreboard, well, your scoreboard doesn't come up, but your objectives comes up and it says, open the bunker, do all these other things, get the pack punch upgraded. If they do something similar to that, they kind of do, but they don't. It's just like a hollow version of, say, like a staff piece or something like that. They don't actually tell you what to do, and it kind of, I just think they need to implement something more easier for newer players or less experienced players to actually experience these game modes. But then again, I can see the other side if they don't want to do that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I was going to mention the World War II zombies, where they're basically telling you do this, do that, but it's not like straight up like, oh, you have to come here and do this. Because when I first played it and it said turn on the power to the village or something like that, I was just there like, okay, I found one valve, I don't know where the other two are. Then I figured out there was like on the floor there was those lines or the wires, and it just led to the others. And it can be cool discovering something like that on your own, rather than having to go on the internet to find out how to do it. But I agree with you, like with the staves as well, because I don't play Origins a lot. I always have to look at the steps as well. I always have to go on to like YouTube or whatnot to just refresh my mind. But yeah, in general, like I agree with you there. Like with things that are going to be in your game, every single game, they shouldn't have to be so complex that you have to like search them up to find out how to do it.
And this isn't necessarily for Easter eggs. I think Easter eggs should be a secret thing that is discussed on the internet. And if you want to do them, you should go on the internet. Maybe some Easter eggs, maybe you get a little bit more help with than others. That you need to get a little bit of help with more than others. But I really think that Easter eggs should stay completely secret, or not completely secret, but less, obvious.
Yeah.
And I think mechanics should be very obvious in game.
Yeah. Sort of keep Easter eggs sort of like mysterious.
Easter eggs.
Yeah, exactly. And let people discover that themselves and try and help each other as a community to discover it. No, I agree with that. I think that's a pretty fair point. My next point is going to be tedious setup. So a good example of tedious setup, in my opinion, is Shadows of Evil, mainly because of the pack-punch rituals. You have to be a semi-decent player to even get to the pack-punch in Shadows of Evil, and it's something that not many players are going to get to on their first ever go on Shadows of Evil either, because like if you've never played Black Ops 3 before and you go on Shadows of Evil, it's such a big jump from like Black Ops 2 that like you don't know what all these Apothecon things are or anything, and all of a sudden you're expected to do 4 or 5 rituals and then get to the pack-punch, as well as surviving all the zombies and the magras and stuff. I just think it's such a long-winded process just to be able to get to something that should, be in every game, basically. The ability to upgrade your weapons should be in every map for any ability or skill player. I think if you're like really bad at zombies, then you need the ability to get to the pack-punch to help you out a little bit, obviously, to try and survive longer. Obviously, there's other maps as well. Another map that points out is Zetsubou No Shima. Very tedious with the setup. And not just the setup with that, but also the setup with the Easter egg, because if you set up your game to the point where you get the Masamune, then you're almost done with the Easter egg. So like the Easter egg basically is setting up your game, and it takes you like 20 minutes, 30 minutes to set up really to get your Masamune upgraded and stuff, and by that point it's like it's not even that much of a good wonder weapon, to be honest. But I prefer maps where the setup's a lot simpler. The Eisendrache, for instance. Simple setup, and it's quite fun to do as well.
I agree. I have nothing else to add to that. That's a fair point.
Yeah.
My next point is I do not want dolphin diving to return. The meme of dolphin diving back in the original Black Ops, even Black Ops 2, was very funny, but dolphin diving is not practical in the slightest. World War II zombies introduced, not introduced, but brought back dolphin diving, and it's still as useless as ever. It's useful in the campaign and it's useful in multiplayer, but in zombies, it's not useful at all. There's not many explosions or gunfights that you're going to be trying to dive out of the way for. That's why the sliding mechanic is a lot better for zombies. And even if they implement the dolphin dive and dolphin dive into multiplayer and into the single player campaign, you can implement them there, but just keep it in zombies. Just keep the slide in zombies because it is super practical. In Black Ops 3, you can basically slide around the whole map without like a single break, and it just is so helpful. And please, Treyarch, don't bring back the dolphin dive. It's a dead meme.
I was going to say, the sliding mechanism in Black Ops 3 is amazing. I wish if they bring back sliding, it'll be exactly like Black Ops 3. Once I got used to sliding, it took me a few games to get used to it when Shadows came out. Once I got used to it, I was like, it's literally how I play now on Black Ops 3. I just slide everywhere. To the point where when I go back to like Black Ops 2 or something, I just keep on dolphin diving everywhere because I'm trying to slide. But yeah, it's such a fast way to travel around. You travel faster when sliding than you do running if you don't have stamina up, and then you travel as fast if you have stamina up. So it's quite a practical thing to do as well. Like if you're trying to do a speed run or something.
Yeah.
So my fourth point for this video is going to be, it's quite an obvious one as well, but I don't want there to be useless guns. To be fair, Black Ops 3, from what I can think of at the moment, didn't really have that many useless guns. I mean, there's the SVG, but again, that's probably one of the worst guns on the game, because it's just slow shooting and it's not really practical to kill zombies with, especially when you're on I don't know, around 10 higher. But the guns I was more thinking of was like the SMR, the China Lake, you know, those type of guns that are in that category of just trash. And like, it's not like you're a bad player if you can't use these guns, because especially the SMR as a prime example, you have the SMR on round 1 and it will take more than one shot to kill the zombie. The SMR, the accuracy is really bad. If you're shooting, then one moment the bullet could go straight, the next moment the bullet will go off any direction. That gun is a prime example of just, I don't know why they ever brought it into zombies. And like I say, Black Ops 3 was actually pretty good. Most of the guns on there was actually really decent. And I hope Black Ops 4 follows suit. And on Black Ops 4 I hope that all the guns are useful in some way, because there's nothing worse than going for the mystery box and then getting trolled by Triac by getting any number of these really trash weapons.
It was always the worst getting the war machine from the box.
Yeah.
I always hated that. But yeah, I think in Black Ops 3 they kind of, like, the term of like bad weapon and whatever is kind of made null and void, because the double pack-a-punch system, where you can get blast furnace and everything, kind of made any like semi-bad weapon, because none of the weapons were really bad. They were kind of like not the best, and just made every weapon just godlike.
It even made like, if you had Deadwire or Blast Furnace, it even made the Shiva semi-decent. Like, cause all you need is one bullet and it will activate Deadwire or Blast Furnace. So you just train them up and you got the Shiva. If you don't want to waste ammo and make the most out of your ammo, one bullet, boom. And then that way your accuracy is like super high as well, because you're not wasting ammo. So yeah, even like the Shiva is actually very useful because of the double pack-a-punch, whereas if the Shiva was in Black Ops 2, probably be in the same, like, as the SMR, the same group. Like,
But my final point now, for things that I do not want to return in Black Ops 4 Zombies, what I don't want to return is the original Black Ops 3 hit system. If you cast your mind back to November 2015, we just got Black Ops 3. We were playing Shadows of Evil and the Giant. We were all excited, and then 2 days later we realized, oh Jesus, this game might be the worst because of the goddamn hit system. It was challenging, but it was very unfair, and we were not used to this, because it was kind of similar to the system that was in World at War, where you kind of get stuck on the zombies once you get hit. But it just doesn't work, and Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 didn't have that hit system, so we got used to that hit system. And then coming into Black Ops 3, having this new hit system, the 3 hit system is great. It's just when you would get hit, you would slow down and you would all together stop at some points, and it would always cancel your running, so you would be trying to train. I think it was kind of a way to stop people from training, because for whatever reason Treyarch doesn't like people training. I think it's great and it's one of the best aspects of Call of Duty Zombies, but for whatever reason they don't like it. So I think that's kind of why they introduced that hit system, but it wasn't very good and wasn't very fair, and especially on a map like the Giant and Shadows of Evil, where it's very, in parts, is very, very close quarters, and you get stopped every time you get hit by a zombie, and it didn't work for me, and I'm glad it was removed about a month or two into Black Ops 3's life cycle, and I would not like it to return for Black Ops 4 Zombies at all. Not at all. Yeah,
like you say, it was a nightmare having that hit system. It took me a second to realise what you were actually saying with your point when you first said the original hit system, but I remember just playing the Giant over and over, and I'd always die stupidly because, again, I'd be training and then I'd get hit by a zombie, so then I get almost like stuck to them, and then I couldn't move forward, and all of a sudden hit 2 more times, you're dead. So it's not really fair. So yeah, I agree with you. Hit system.
I would love to go delete all my patches on Black Ops 3 and go back and play the original, like play Shadows of Evil with the old hit system and see how bad it was.
It's not even just the hit system. You realise that Shadows of Evil is a completely different map before the updates. The rituals lasted longer before the updates. The Gobblegum is only in one location at a time. You know, there's all sorts of different updates they've done over the time. But one good thing is that you can upgrade your Apothicon Servant with a glitch.
True, that's true. I only ever did that once as well.
Yeah, I never even did it. My final point is going to be, I do not want another zombies campaign coming back to Black Ops 4. My main reason is because honestly, I think they could bring a zombies campaign back into Black Ops 4 and it could be really awesome. But I don't think it's going to be. Black Ops 3, it was trash. It was basically the campaign copied and pasted over into a zombie style. Some of the maps were the same as far as I was aware. I didn't really play it because it was just trash. So that's basically that, and I feel like Jason Blundell would do his best to try and somehow incorporate the zombies campaign from Black Ops 3 into Black Ops 4 by like the storyline or some stupid thing like that, because I know what Jason's like of connecting everything together. And I feel like if there was a campaign in Black Ops 4, it would follow suit from Black Ops 3 and it would be absolutely terrible. And for that reason, I do not want a zombies campaign in Black Ops 4 because it just didn't work.
Yeah, did the Black Ops 3 zombies campaign, the Nightmares mode, did that actually connect with normal zombies? Like, I cannot remember if
I don't know. I know like Johnny J 25 and like some other storyline YouTubers, they tried to make connections, but I don't know whether it was meant to have any sort of storyline connection or whether it was just more of coincidence. Or I don't know. I just thought it was a really poor mode.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it. I don't think I ever completed it. I got like halfway through and just didn't want to complete it. So
that's basically it for this video. I want to add a few more things in this video like we did last time, with a few other ideas that I had. I don't know if Nathan has any more, but a couple more ideas that I had that I don't want to bring back into Black Ops 4, but these aren't quite as a main point as they were the other 5 that I just mentioned. So for the same bosses to return, so we had Panzer come back from Black Ops 2 into the Eisendrache from Black Ops 3. I thought that was pretty cool, but it's also a little bit of a lazy way of doing it. They could have had like a new boss into that map, as well as Revelations that had the Panzer and the Magua. Again, it could have had its own map-specific boss. I don't want Black Ops 4 to follow suit. I don't want Black Ops 4 to just copy half of the bosses from previous maps I've already had. I feel like it'd be much better experience playing the map if the bosses were unique. Required Gobblegums for Easter eggs, so this didn't really make it into my main 5 just because it was only really on one map where you needed, like 100% needed a Gobblegum for Zetsubou's Easter egg. Anywhere but here, you needed it, otherwise if you go halfway through the Easter egg and you don't have that Gobblegum, you've got to reset your game and put it on and then try it again. Other than that, it wasn't really much of an issue, obviously, during the games. There's a few times with Easter eggs where you needed a Gobblegum to like help you out, but it wasn't 100% necessary. You could have gone around it a different way. And one more point, which is the last one again, which isn't something that would really bother me too much, but it would be the masks. We had our masks in Revelations, Gorod Krovi, Shadows of Evil. We actually had one of the Eisen as well with the Panzer mask. I really wouldn't be bothered if they didn't return into Black Ops 4, and I feel like unless they're going to do something big, like a better change to them, they probably shouldn't even bother with the masks. To be honest, because they do help out, but they're not really that necessary. But yeah, that's basically it. But again, it's not a main point as to why I didn't put it into my main 5. Do you have any other points you want to make?
Well, I didn't have any extra from what I had on the list, but I do have one that I wouldn't like to see. But the other developers, IW and World War II Zombies, implemented, which was a bunch of different boss zombies all at once. Like, I like World War II Zombies. I like the Final Reich. The one thing I absolutely despise about the map is the different types of boss zombies. You have about 5 different boss zombies on that map, and it's just way too much. I think Treyarch do a good job of this. I think the most we've had different types of bosses, like it was 4 on Revelations. I think we had like 4 different zombies, maybe just 3, but I think there's like 4 different types of zombies. But yeah, because we had the spiders, the Maristogla, or not them, the Margos. Yeah, the what was it called? The black gooey guys. I don't know what they're called.
Oh right, yeah, the Furies.
Yeah, we had the meatballs, we had the keepers, we had the regular zombies, and then we had the skinnier versions of the zombies. We had the fly things from Shadows of Evil. We had those as well.
Yeah,
that's 7. We had 7 different types of zombies in Revelations, and even then that wasn't that bad. But just World War II zombies, and supposedly the final map in IW Zombies that had a lot of different boss zombies that weren't very good.
Yeah,
it's just less is more, not more is less, or whatever.
It's funny you say that. If they do it right, it could work out well. Left 4 Dead, I don't know if you've ever played Left 4 Dead, but Left 4 Dead is a good example of like a zombies game that has quite a few different special zombies, but they don't always come at you. They come at you at different times. So like you've got the tank, smoker, witch, boomer, hunter, jockey. I can't think of any of the others. There's not really much, but that's like 6 right there. There's a couple others, and the way that, I don't know, it's just the way they have them. Like you don't always come into them like all the time. Like during each chapter, you'll probably come into like 1 tank and then 1 witch and like 2 hunters or something. It's not like every 2 seconds you've got, you know, a parasite on your head or something like that. So again, if it's done right and if it's done where it's spaced out, it could be done right. But yeah, I see what you mean. Final Reich. I've not done it that much, to be honest, but I have done like the bomb zombies, and then there was like some fire zombies that like run at you really fast, and some of the others are just like, yeah, it makes it quite rushed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to go ahead and subscribe to Nathan's channel, which is down below in the description, called Vanced. So go ahead and go subscribe to his channel, or at the very least check his channel out. With that said, thank you for watching this video. If you got anything that you do not want to see in Black Ops 4, then go ahead and comment them down below as well. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more zombies content. And as always, I will see you next time. Peace out.
Bye.
If I could take you up in paradise,